Good morning and welcome to Mindset Mondays with DTK. This is episode number 177 in an ongoing series designed for folk who've already figured out that the best way to get better at doing what they do is to get better at being who they are at their core. Whew. So yes, I'm sitting down today and yes, I have a cold. It's been a long time. So I'm going to sound a little scratchy today, and I'll try to keep the coughs off the microphone. If you will, if you'll take just a moment and click share, whether you're on LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube, please share this live broadcast with your friends, your colleagues, your community. The more voices we have, the richer the conversation. And also, regardless of what platform you're on, let me know where you connected in from. Besides Dorothy, who's out in Seattle. Hey, Dorothy. Morning, Kevin. Interesting one today. As Dorothy's known me for a very long time, you'll be super aware of this. In the past, when I've gotten overwhelmed, my default was to lurch into do mode, go heavy. It was heads down, hunker down, work harder, plow forward. It was tunnel vision unconscious. Now, on the surface, it seemed to be effective. But motion without movement just digs a hole. Think about when you're on the beach, standing in the water, and you're just moving your feet. You sink deeper and deeper and deeper. So motion without movement, or movement without forward motion. So our friend Parissa draws out the distinction between speed and velocity, right? And to drastically oversimplify it, speed's the rate of motion, while velocity is the rate of motion in a given direction. And I was going for speed rather than velocity, which was a great way to convince myself that something was happening. My other friend, Tony Martignetti, has a stunningly simple, wonderful way of putting it. This is the best antidote to speed versus velocity. Expand your vision, narrow your focus. Expand your vision, narrow your focus. I like when things sound so simple, right? This elegant adage serves me incredibly well. You know, whether it's overwhelm or an embarrassment of riches that triggers the challenge, the first step for me is to stand back, change my perspective so I can see more. Wider expansive vision always allows me and allows us to expand the ideas, to expand options, to expand possibilities. And then from there, to notice, just to simply notice. As a new path or a new solution or a new set of outcomes becomes evident when it rises to our awareness, then we get to dial in focus on that version of the future, to zero in on that and let everything else fall out of focus and stop taking energy, stop taking time, stop taking attention, stop taking effort. It's about letting that desired future state be the driver for your action and for your creation. That broader view allows for that clear-headed, laser-focused action towards your new future, towards your new desired future state. So where will this serve you most? This idea of expanding your vision and then narrowing your focus. Where does that play out in your life? Or can it? I guess is a better question. One of the things about a live broadcast is it's on a many second delay. It does take some effort to narrow your focus, doesn't it? This is Tina. Still, it's worth the effort. Tina, absolutely. It's. I've always said it's hard to hear and it's hard to see at speed. With it's fascinating on a train. Notice this most on a train. It's hard to see anything in the near field. You have to step back. You have to sit back to be able to see anything. Moving at speed, it's very hard to see. And so widening the view makes a massive difference, particularly for me. I need to slow down and pull back. I've talked in other of these other conversations about it's hard to hear at speed. And as a cyclist, with all the air rushing past the straps of the helmet, it's very hard to hear anything, right? And this is all in that same vein. It's hard to hear or see or think at speed. So stepping back, expanding vision, then narrowing focus. And I love that, Kevin. It serves everywhere for me. And same for me when I let it. And I think that's the biggest piece. It can serve everywhere, but only if we let it. My brother says, if I can't do it well, the level of commitment I think something deserves, it's okay to walk away. No one died when I did. I like that. Yeah, I have a very strong ability to catastrophize forward, that if it didn't work well, then yes, everybody's going to die. It's going to be terrible. So it's a nice reminder, right? If you can't do it well, it's okay to walk away. Nobody died when you did. Bill said a change of venue helps me expand my vision. Work from home, go visit another location. Man, Bill, that that's so true. Altitude definitely affects my attitude. That's where we're headed out to Colorado in a couple of days for several weeks, and it's amazing how much clearer my vision gets at altitude. Maybe the lack of oxygen, but it is changing venue can be incredibly effective for changing your view. There we go. Tina says, I think being able to focus on one thing makes it effective in everything we do, doesn't it? Yes, it does. Um, as somebody who juggles, I've been juggling for years, and I still can only juggle three things, no matter how different or heavy or light or variable they are, still only three. And for me, each time I've tried to do more, it doesn't work. There's a functional limit to how we fracture our attention. And I'm okay not knowing how to juggle 4 or 5 objects at a time and focusing on one thing. There's one of the episodes early on, I used a quote from Charles Emerson Winchester, one of the characters from the American television show MASH. And when asked why he was so good, his answer was, I do one thing, I do it very well, and then I move on. So Tina, yes, being able to focus on one thing makes a huge difference. Yeah, I got to thank you. Pause, breathe, refocus. This way you can notice things you missed before and your vision expands automatically. Michael O'Brien, he has a podcast called the Kintsugi Podcast, and it's all about resilience. He also has a Facebook group called Pause, Breathe, and Reflect. And it's an incredible community. And the entire focus is that there's never a time in your world where taking a moment to pause, breathe, and reflect can't change things for the positive. And that goes really well with expanding your vision and narrowing your focus. Just pausing and breathing naturally allows you to expand your focus. So thank you for bringing that up, Agata. And then, by the way, pause, breathe, reflect. Look it up on Facebook and look it up on LinkedIn. Michael does a beautiful job with that community. He says, I also found the change of scenery gave me the permission to go there or feel more. Yeah, in my natural surroundings, I'm going to go with my default, right? Even just getting outside can change everything. Mm. All right. So this week, the opportunity is, where can you expand your focus? Sorry, expand your vision so that you can narrow your focus. Where, not can you, where will you expand your vision so you can narrow your focus? That's your opportunity this lovely week of July. And again, in between now and next week, always love to have the conversation continue. More than welcome to join the conversation in the private pitch free Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/mindset Mondays. Also, any of this conversation that you want to continue, message me. Other than when I'm languishing from a cold, I'm always connected. And I look forward to hearing more about how this mindset shifts things for you this week. I'll see you next Monday. Be well.